Katie from Tabletop Journal. I'm sitting here today with my friend Ross. We want to talk to you about craft beer. So we're really excited today to introduce, most importantly, our new video series called Bldg46. It's something that's been in the works for a little while now, so we're pretty pumped that it's up and running. We've got a lot of great episodes planned for you, so make sure you stay tuned. Today we want to talk to you about building a better beer experience for your guests. We want to keep it simple and we want to keep it fun. We don't want you to be intimidated by craft beer. We're here to help you, and that's the point of the video today. And more importantly for us here at Tabletop Journal, we want to talk about the glassware that you use to serve all these great beers. So we've got some great beer selections today. We've got some great glassware that Ross has helped us pick out. So we're pretty excited to dive into that. So who are we and why are we on this side of the table? So like I said, my name's Katie and I just love craft beer. But more importantly, I'm passionate about the guest experience, whether it be at a bar, a restaurant, or a cafe. So Ross has a little bit more of a robust resume, if you will, in the industry. So I'll let him tell us a little bit about that and his Cicerone title.
Yeah, so I've been in the beverage industry since I turned 21, working at stores, bars. I've worked at a distributor, and I've worked at a brewery. I'm currently at a large bottle shop as a manager, but I've sort of seen every stage of the industry, every level. So the Cicerone title that I have is just the level 1 Cicerone Certified Beer Server. It's an awesome entry level, sort of that first step for any beer enthusiast who's in the industry and wants to pump up their resume a little bit. It's general knowledge about beer, the history of beer, style guidelines, and then, important for this video, serving suggestions. So glassware, how to pour different beers. So it's just really great overall beer knowledge that's really comes in handy in the industry when talking with other people, and especially when serving beer, because server is right there in the name, Certified Beer Server.
Absolutely. So craft beer is a term that's been thrown around a lot lately. So since we have the beer expert here, Ross, tell us a little bit about what is a craft beer?
Yeah, so craft beer is actually a relatively new term. It's sort of used to be microbreweries back when this whole revolution was starting. And now we've seen that some craft breweries are just not micro at all. You see Boston Beer Company, who makes Sam Adams, constantly setting the high water mark for what you would call craft beer. Basically, what I look for in a craft brewery is something that's going to be independently owned or employee owned. It's certainly just not owned by the corporate big breweries like Anheuser-Busch or Miller Coors. But you're also going to see a lot of variety in terms of output. So sometimes, but not necessarily, smaller batch sizes, but also more variety in terms of output, more different styles. So one brewery can do 20 different beers.
Very cool. So a lot of our viewers we know are operators of establishments like a bar, a restaurant, or a cafe. So what are those main beers that they absolutely have to have on tap? What are those styles?
Yeah, so this can be a little bit daunting when you're sort of at the first stage of getting your beer program up and running, but I'd say the three that would sort of make it easiest wouldn't be beer styles, but categories of beer that you can sort of lump in specific styles. So for me, I'm thinking light, so something that's sort of accessible and better during hot weather, and then something malty, so a little bit darker, sweeter, roastier, and then also better for cold weather. And then you have to have it something hoppy. So this is going to be year-round, probably sell great. And hop-forward beers are leading the industry as far as growth goes. They're usually the top seller from any given brewery, and almost every brewery makes something that is hop-forward, simply because of the popularity of American Pale Ales and India Pale Ales.
Awesome. We love craft beer because your guests expect it. They're expecting to see this on the menu, so you might as well put it on there. Secondly, we love it because it elevates your guest experience. These glasses here are far away from that 16-ounce mixing glass, so it's going to bring that up on your table presentation, as well as also elevate the check. So each one of these is going to be a bit more than your traditional beers that maybe you're used to. So we love having these on the menu for a lot of reasons and can't say enough about it. So with that being said, I want to jump into some of this glassware we've got. We've got great examples here from our partners at Cardinal, our partners at Stozel, Oneida, and then our partners from Libby. So tell us a little bit about these ones here you have with the Sam Adams.
Yeah, so for our lighter option, I have 2 glassware picks, and they're both from Cardinal for this category. I have one that's sort of a ridged, lighter style glass, and then I have one that's stemmed. That's sort of up to the establishment or whoever's ordering the glassware. They're both pretty durable as far as feel. They both have good ergonomics. Most importantly, they're going to have a slightly narrow body. I like a more narrow body for a lighter style because for lagers especially, but also maybe your gold ales, you're going to be talking about clarity. Clarity is a buzzword, something nice, clear, bright. So you want to be able to see that clarity. That's a sign of professionalism as far as the brewing process goes. But on the other end of the spectrum, if it's a lighter style that throws clarity out the window, like a wheat beer, you actually want to be able to see particles in there. You want to be able to see the wheat in the beer. So either way, that slightly more narrow glass allows light to pass through without hitting as much liquid, so you're getting a better viewing experience. Something else I also like is slight narrowing near the top of the glass. That's going to enhance the nose for pretty much any style of beer. Never hurts.
Cool. So Cardinal's a name that most people in the industry know. They're the largest tableware company in the world. Any given day, they're producing over 6 million pieces across the globe. Even just 1 million here, just a shot up the road over in Millville, New Jersey. So a very familiar name. Love to see these glassware here and have them part of this program. So tell us a little bit about my favorites, the malty beers, the stout that we have. What am I serving that in?
Yeah, so for a stout, a porter, even a brown ale, any of these sort of darker, more hearty beers, we've gone 2 completely different directions on the glassware picks. I wanted to do one that was totally old school and classic. That's from Cardinal. It's a no-neck pint. These were originally designed for stacking and not sticking together. That's why we see the slight bulge here. But because of the history and tradition, it's going to be just a classic shape that people know to associate with darker styles. Also, it really adds the ergonomics. We're going to get a nice grip here. And again, most importantly, people see that shape and they know what type of beer is coming. It's going to be a stout or porter traditionally. Then we've gone completely new school with this Spiegelau glass that is from Libby. It's a lot lighter, and obviously the shape is totally unique. So it's almost like a wine glass shape, this nice tulip up top, but then the bottom, where you'll be handling the beer, isn't a stem, it's actually more glass to fill. So I've drank beers from this specific glass, and it sort of does enhance the nose of the beer and the flavors. They've done a lot of studies to ensure that this glass will elevate the tasting experience, and I'm happy to say that it works. Wonderful glass. It is a little bit lighter. I know the price point's probably a little higher, so that's sort of up to the establishment, whether you want to go with something classic or something new school, depending on the needs of your establishment.
Absolutely. You know, we've heard Libby for quite some time. They're America's glass maker, so we talk about American beers here. We've got America's glass maker, but love to see this addition to their offerings. They're the sole importer of Spiegelau here in the U.S., so this is a glass made in Germany. It's got a great feel to it, a very high-end touch. So if I'm talking about the guest experience, this is a great way to increase that. But as Ross mentioned, you know, if I'm looking for something a bit more durable and back of the house, the no-neck pint from Cardinal is a great option as well. So rounding out our beer glass selections, what am I serving this Sierra Nevada in?
Yeah, so Sierra Nevada is the classic American pale ale, and because of that, it's going to have this great nose like any APA or IPA would have. You're going to get a lot of citrus, pine. Some beers in the hoppy realm will have a very dank nose. Some will have some floral stuff going on, but they always have great noses. And there's as much variety in the nose as there is in the flavors. So you're going to want to accentuate that with your glass pick. We have 2 tulips here, and I like a tulip because it condenses the nose. So it's really condensing all those smells and making it a lot easier for you to pick up more of the nose when you're smelling your beer. So this one's from Cardinal, and you'll see these 2 options are both very similar in size and shape. The one from Cardinal is a little bit heavier, and then we have a similar one from Stozel. They're both going to pretty much perform the same function here as far as accentuating the nose and allowing for a stem. I like a stem on a hoppy beer glass because they sort of have a sweet spot for temperatures. I like to be able to warm up a beer to the temperature that I want, but then not have to be constantly warming it up and getting it what I might consider too warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, the Cardinal option does feel pretty hefty, durable, great shape, but you can see the lip is thicker sidewall all the way down. The Stozel one, similar shape, feels really nice in your hand, but it is a little bit lighter.
Absolutely. So really glad to see Stozel as part of this assortment that we have today. For over 200 years, they've been, the European leading design. We see a lot of innovation coming out of their design house. So really excited to have them in here. And of course, another shout out to Cardinal with these glasses. We've got a lot from them here on the table. So that's about all the time we have for today. So I want to wrap up quickly and tell you kind of what did we talk about today. So we walked through and introduced you to this new video series, Bldg46. Again, really excited to make sure to tune in for later episodes. We're going to talk more about these glasses, more about the beer. We're going to talk about local beers, which is something near and dear to our hearts. We also talked about the basics of craft beer. So what beers do I absolutely have to have on tap? And then what glassware do I absolutely have to serve these in and keep in-house? So make sure to check us out on our new Instagram, Bldg46. It's Bldg46. And if you have any questions, comments, or even beer suggestions, we love new things here over at Tabletop Journal. Be sure to check us out at Katie@TabletopJournal.com. and Ross@TabletopJournal.com. So with that, thanks for tuning in, and remember, Tabletop matters. See you next time.